Hello and welcome to our special broadcast, The Lords of Cricket. At Headingley, India lost the unlosable test at Edgbaston. They made spectacular amends, completely dominated with several records made and broken. Now the focus is at Lord's third test of the series, which is tied at 1-1. Big boost for India. Bumrah is back. For England, Jofra Archer will play after almost 4 years. How the wicket would behave and what would be the strategies of both the teams. We are here to preview this game. With me will be an eminent guest correspondent who will also be joining us with the updates. Let's start our special broadcast, The Lords of Cricket. So England have won the toss and they have decided to bat first, and Jofra Archer is part of the playing 11, and India also have made one change. Jasprit Bumrah comes in, Prasar Krishna is out, but we'll talk about how the combination is. But India versus England 5-match test series heads into its pivotal third chapter at the most iconic cricket venue of them all, Lords. The test series is finally balanced at 1-1. The stakes couldn't be higher, with both sides eye a crucial lead. While India arrived with the momentum of a record-breaking win, England will be desperate to restore parity on familiar turf. Here's a report. After a dominant 336-run victory at Edgbaston, India carried not just momentum but renewed belief. Their captain Shubman Gill, who scored over 400 runs in that match alone, returns to the home of cricket as a batter in sublime form, leading a side hungry to rewrite their overseas record. But England, bruised yet unbowed, will look to bounce back hard. The Lord's surface, known for its early movement, could tempt the host to tweak their bowling attack. Eyes are on speedster Jofra Archer, who returned to the squad after recovering from injury. Meanwhile, India welcome back their pace spearhead Jasprit Bumrah. His inclusion promises a thrilling duel, especially against England's in-form middle order.
Lords का जो टेस्ट का जो फर्स्ट सेकंड इनिंग का स्कोर्स भी है वो कंपैरेटिवली लो है, सो एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि थोड़ा हेल्प बॉलर्स को ज्यादा हो सकता है. बैट्समैन के लिए चैलेंजिंग सेम थिंग मैं बिलीव करता हूं कि वो माइंडसेट ही है. स्पेंडिंग टाइम ऑन द विकेट्स इज द बेस्ट फ्रेंड यू कैन हैव.
Akashdeep, fresh from a record-breaking 10-wicket haul, rattled England's top order and notably cleaned up Joe Root with a fabulous delivery at Edgbaston. The right-arm seamer now faces the challenge of maintaining that form under the scrutiny of Lords. India's batting has found rhythm too. Apart from Captain Gill, Vice-Captain Rishabh Pant, Yashasvi Jaiswal and KL Rahul have showcased fearlessness and scored valuable centuries across both tests.
We, over the, history of 50-60 years, we played 7 matches over different courses, different teams coming here. I believe this is the best Indian team to be able to come here in England, and we have the capability to beat them, to win the series from here. And we have got the right momentum with us. If we keep making the right decisions and we keep grinding and we keep fighting, I think it would be one of the series to remember.
For England, a response is imperative. The batting unit, led by Stokes, Root, Brook and Pope, has to find answers against India's varied and confident bowling attack. As the battle for Test supremacy intensifies, both teams know the third Test could be decisive. With the series tied at 1-1 and the Lord's stage set, expect no shortage of drama and defining moments. Sports Desk, DD India. Yes, as far as toss is concerned, England, they have won the toss and they have opted to bat first. No surprises in India's playing 11. Bumrah is back. Prasar Krishna goes out. That's the only change that India has made. And as far as England is concerned, they already announced their playing 11. Jofra Archer will be playing for England after almost 4.5 years. He is part of the playing 11 and he has come in place of Josh Tongue, who played the first 2 test matches. It will be interesting to see how England bats in the first session, and they have in fact changed their strategy. I mean, earlier they were talking about they had more comfortable chasing the total, and Harry Brook had also said that anything over 450 will give it a crack, that we can chase down anything over 450. But yes, now they have won the toss at Lords and they have opted to bat first. Here's the playing 11 for India. Shubman Gill captain, Yashasvi Jaiswal, will open the innings with KL Rahul. Nitish Reddy is part of the 11. He didn't play the first test match. They have continued with Washington Sundar. Karun Nair, it seems, will continue to bat at number 3. Rishabh Pant, Ravindra Jadeja. No Kuldeep Yadav again, so we'll talk about that. But yes, Indians, they have gone in with 2 spinners again, Ravindra Jadeja and Washington Sundar. Akashdeep, Mohammad Siraj and Jasprit Bumrah. Akashdeep bowled exceptionally well in the last game at Edgbaston. Mohammad Siraj too. And this is the playing 11 for England. They have made only 1 change. Jofra Archer is part of the playing 11 and he has come in place of Josh Tongue. And for more insights, we are joined by senior sports journalist Rakesh Rao. Rakesh ji, good to have you. Jasprit Bumrah, no surprises there. Bumrah is back. Prasidh Krishna goes out. And Bumrah's return after a fortnight's rest, you think could turbocharge India's bid to move 2-1 up?
You know what? I mean, overall, I think Indians are in a great space. Mental space, I mean, you couldn't have asked for anything because if India had won the first test, lost the second, then the momentum would have been with England.
Yeah.
It's 1-1, everything is equal, and a well-rested Bumrah, without whom India won the second match, is back. So, you know, England will look at it as though, I mean, where have we got ourselves into? Because they thought they could put India into bat and, you know, dominate. Because that is what over the years, what we've seen is in England and especially mid-year, what you see is that teams would win the toss, put the opposition in. But look at the pressure of losing the second match. Ben Stokes, knowing what the conditions could get, he has actually, opted to bat first, pulled India out of its comfort zone. And let's not forget that out of the 10 days of cricket that we've had in the series so far, England have fielded on 8 days. I mean, that's huge. And also, Indians have crossed 315 every innings. So he doesn't want India to remain in their comfort zone. India would have, happily gone out there with the mental state that they're in, with their top order in top form and the confidence, with it. I think Ben Stokes did the right thing. Although he will be uncomfortable. What if Indians strike early? Ben Stokes' decision to bat first will be under scrutiny. So England is facing all sorts of problems. And also, now that he has opted to bat, what we can see is that a fresh Bumrah can have a crack on a fresh wicket. And we know that this wicket was supposed to be a little more greener. I understand that the grass has been removed this morning. But, on a fresh wicket, Bumrah can do a lot, provided the catches are taken. So what we saw in the first match, Indians dominated 4 out of 5 days. We were ahead of England. On the last day, we lost it. And then, going by that, kind of a progression, Indians have dominated 9 out of 10 days of Test cricket so far. So England will be under pressure. And Bumrah with a fresh ball, I think we are in for some very exciting times, in this week.
Absolutely. And why India did well in the last game, the biggest reason has been the captain Shubman Gill. We'll talk about him. But Tapas Bhattacharya, DD India correspondent, is also with us. Tapas, England have won the toss. They have opted to bat. And Shubman Gill said at the toss that he would have bowled first. Tell us about the wicket here at Lord's, Tapas. It was a bit green yesterday, and we are getting to understand that the grass has been shaved off. What's the update you can give us?
Right, so in another 12 minutes, the match will kickstart, and I'm assuming with Bumrah coming into the play, he will take the new ball along with, I hope, Akashdeep takes it, because this is a pitch where you will have, there's a slope that is going on. So from left to right, there will be a slope, and one has to see from which end Bumrah will bowl. So his natural delivery is coming inside the right-hander. So if he bowls from the other end and with the slope coming in, it will be interesting to see how the batsman adjusts to the pace, the bounce, and as well as the angles that comes. And with Akashdeep also coming in, and we saw, he has a tendency to push the ball up, let the ball get the movement off the track. It will be interesting to see how both the bowlers work and how English batsmen play them, especially in that particular slope that I'm talking about. You mentioned the fact that they have shaved off the glass, but English, summer. We saw the tinge of grass still there, tinge of green there. We believe that an hour in the morning will be very crucial for India as well as for England. Interestingly, I'm taking a cue from our correspondent, our senior sports journalist Rakesh Ram, taking further that how England are thinking. In the last 12 matches at home in England, in fact, it started from the Basball era that we talk about. This is the second time they have opted to bat first. Starting with the batting in the Test match. This generally doesn't happen in their thought process, but because of the manner in which in the second Test they have been thoroughly outplayed in all the department, this kind of thought process came. Although the match, again, I will say a lot will hinge on how Jofra Archer bowls in the first innings and how Bumrah and Akashdeep pair up in that particular first over. So that in the match there will be subplots, and those subplots will decide the outcome of the match.
Absolutely. 3,365 runs scored across 2 tests. Rakeshji, the previous best was in 1924-25. Wickets have been relatively easy. If we compare earlier England wickets, what do you think is the biggest reason? Weather is the factor. Anything else, or we get a different wicket at Lord's?
See, 2 reasons. One, in England, it is not just the surface. It is the conditions that get into play. Here, in the first 2 matches, what we have seen is absolutely straightforward wickets.
Yeah.
There was nothing off the pitch, but even the conditions were not that hostile. So, and just add to it, the quality of attack in both the camps. I think both sides have pretty ordinary attack.
Yeah.
In the sense, if you start from India, Bumrah carried the brunt of the entire bowling in the first match. In the second, he was not available. Luckily, give it to the Indians that they rose to the occasions. Rose to that occasion, and then they actually did what was not entirely expected. So give it to the Indian pace bowlers who did the trick. On the other hand, in this first 2 matches, England's bowling, that stands completely exposed. Because initially they thought that at home, their attack was superior to India's. After being on the back foot for 9 out of 10 days, here we are, England is worried. And that is because India has hit them between the ears in the second Test match. Give a lot of credit to Shubman and his young team. And the bowlers, nobody expected Indians to do so well, because after 2 matches, if somebody had to say that the series would stand 1-1, anybody would take it. But given the kind of response that Indians did, because that display on the last day of the first match, that really hurt them, because after 4 days, Indians were expected to close that first match on day 5, which Indians just didn't do it.
Yes.
Dropped catches, indifferent fielding, a lot of it contributed. But in the second, once the Indians got into the act, now England is thinking. That's one of the reasons why Ben Stokes just had to do this. He had to pull India out of its comfort zone of being asked to bat first. And then Indians would go out there, because if they could do 2 out of 2, they could do it 3 out of 3 as well. So it was almost a given that Indians would bat second in this match, because Indians would love to put England in and the kind of surface that you have. But I'd just like to add one more thing, because you asked so many runs being scored. I think Duke ball, the quality of Duke ball in this particular series is really questionable. After 30 overs or so, the ball softens up to such an extent. Despite having such lush green outfields, the ball is getting D-shaped. Now, this is where, and once a new ball is introduced, the bowler doesn't know what quality of ball this is, because there's inconsistency in the quality of Duke balls.
Yes.
So that has also contributed, because, not many people have spoken about it. But the point here is that the bowlers are at are at the receiving end, no question about it. Indian bowling attack minus Bumrah was expected to look very ordinary, but give credit to Siraj, Akash, and also Prasid in the second innings, particularly in the second innings, the way he held one end up, I think that was excellent. And that is where I think Indians have nosed ahead, as far as the psychological warfare is concerned. But yes, expect England to come very hard here. It's Lords. If they put the runs up on the board, then Indians will be doing the chasing, but the confidence of the Indian top order is sky high.
Absolutely. Confidence is sky high. And like you also said, sir, and Rishabh Pant also mentioned that in the press conference that the Duke's ball is getting D-shaped after 30-40 overs. Are we going to see a new rule in the future? That's a different debate altogether. But Rakeshji, have you seen India dominate like that in England before? What do you think is the biggest reason that India has been doing well? They have done well so far in the first 2 test matches. And Shubman Gill also said that best Indian team to tour England so far.
Well, to start with, I'll be very honest with you. I have not seen India dominate the English attack. I mean, you are crossing 350 almost at will. I mean, you're scoring 400, 500. I mean, it's quite crazy. But the point is that this attack of England team is not on the ball. They are not on the money. And that's one of the reasons. Otherwise, in these conditions where, I mean, these conditions are foreign to these youngsters. Let's face it. Not many people have played here. Not many people have played in, like county cricket or on any other format either. But give it to these Indians because they are making these Englishmen think and they're hitting them where it hurts. So that psychological warfare in the first 2 matches, Indians have definitely moved ahead. They've surged ahead at this point. And coming to what England has been doing, I think their batting has also cracked up a little because they have got runs. But if you look at the manner in which they've got their runs, second match, first innings, take out that one partnership of 300 plus. They lose first 5 wickets in quick time. They lose the last 5 wickets in quick time. So what I'm trying to say is that they are not consistent here.
Yes.
And Indians know that because not everybody is among the like big scores. Indians, on the other hand, have, I mean, if you look at the top order, take out, if
Smith
you just take
Brook,
out from the middle order, everybody has got at least a 50 there. Look at Ravindra Jadeja. He comes deep into the thing. He gets runs. Washington Sundar gets runs unexpectedly there. But England that way is a little concerned because they don't know how deep the Indians are capable of batting. And they've kept them on the ground for much longer than what the English team initially expected. And that is now beginning to show. And if Indians can make those early inroads, like you would expect a team to win the toss and put the opposition in, here the hosts have opted to bat first. They are taking a risk. They're taking a huge risk. And with Jofra Archer in there, if Indians can keep them on a low total and then see what Jofra brings to the table and attack him, I think England will be badly hit.
Tapas, what's the record here at Lords? India have done well here at this ground. Most number of wins in England for India have come at this venue.
It is, and it's a mecca of cricket. Most of the games ruling coming from here. Melbourne Cricket MCC is here. So all these things, matter. Lords, when you talk about Lords, you talk about history, you talk about legacy, everything is there. But, having said all that, you have to understand this is a new match. And again, you have to, England will like to, understand that what they have done in the previous 2 matches, they need to take a cue from there, especially from the second match where one thought that it was a one pace, one style of attack that was coming to India. They knew that they will be bowling outside the off stump. They're waiting for the pitch to do the trick. But we didn't see anything else apart from that day. We didn't see the barrage of short pitch bowling. We didn't see the the closing fielders coming in, chopping. Those are things that were missing, and that's something that they need to take a hard look at it. With Jofra Archer coming, they will have that edge of the rushing through the batsmen. We saw the Shubman Gill quite literally planting his front foot down the pitch and smacking it in front of the square leg, and that was quite easy for him. If coming before this particular series in this particular English tour in Australia, in England, in Sena country, he had an average of 25. Here, I have to give credit where it is due. He has curtailed his, scoring, ability in the first half an hour. And once he set his sight in, he played his shots. But then again, you have to understand the quality of English pacer was nothing that bothered him, and he played his shots all around the ground. With Jofra Archer coming in, that's not going to be that easy. So Indian batting lineup needs to be careful. But right now, as I mentioned, it's India is going to bowl first, and it's England who is going to be on the back foot, because we have the Bumrah, we have both Bumrah, Akashdeep, and followed by Mohammad Shirab. And Mohammad Shirab's you have to understand the manner in which all the three bowlers bowl. Bumrah is a world-class bowler. We don't have to explain how he can be a lethal in a pitch where it provides some assistance to the bowlers. With Akashdeep, we saw he put the ball in the right length, especially here in England. Length matters more than line, so that's what he benefited from in the last match also. England will be without Josh Tong, their highest wicket taker. He has picked up, if I'm not wrong, 11 wickets, in the matches so far. So he's not playing in this particular match. So they will be they won't have his services. Mohammad Shiraz coming in, he has an ability to hit the deck hard, sort of a bowling lineup, bowling action and bowling style. So all these three bowlers combined together, especially in the first hour or so, and with the spinners then coming in, it's not going to be easy. And you have to see, Jasprit Bumrah has started the ball with the over. We have to see whether it's and hence bowling from the pavilion. And again, as I mentioned, pavilion is going to be it's going to help him with the ball darting in, and occasionally the ball will leave. So it's not going to be easy for English batsmen. Jack Crawley and Ben Duckett are in the middle. So you have to see how the first hour goes.
First hour and first session will be very crucial. You spoke about Siraj and Akashdeep. Tapas, they shared 17 wickets in the last game. We'll talk about that. Tapas and Rakesh ji, stay with us. I'll come back to you. But history was rewritten at Edgbaston as Shubman Gill led India, crushed England by 336 runs, breaching one of cricket's most daunting fortresses. India hammered England to square the 5-match series at 1-1. As teams gear up for the third test at Lord's, let's take a look at the records and key moments from India's triumphant win in the second test.
India thrashed England by 336 runs in the second test, which was their biggest victory margin in test history, surpassing their 318-run triumph over the West Indies in 2019. At the heart of this historic win was fast bowler Akashdeep, whose 10-wicket haul shattered a 39-year-old record for the best match figures by an Indian in England. His 10 for 187 narrowly edged past Chetan Sharma's effort from 1986 at the same venue. Skipper Shubman Gill also carved his name into the record books, becoming the first Indian and Asian captain to win a test at Edgbaston. Gill's stunning double century made him the first Asian batter ever to achieve the feat in England. With 430 runs in the match, Gill set a new benchmark for the most runs scored by an Indian in a single test, surpassing Sunil Gavaskar's long-standing record. Ravindra Jadeja added to the milestone spree, becoming the first cricketer to complete 2,000 runs and 100 wickets in the World Test Championship. And for the first time in history, India crossed the 1,000-run mark in a single test match, posting a staggering total of 1,014 runs across both innings, a feat achieved by only 5 teams before. With the series now poised at 1-1, all eyes turn to the third test starting July 10. Can England bounce back, or will Shubman Gill's men continue rewriting the history books? The stage is set for another thrilling chapter in this iconic rivalry. Sports Desk, DD India.
Right, Rakesh ji, England's biggest concern is bowling. That's what we have seen in the last 2 games. India's biggest asset is batting. You think England need to find a way to get Indians out, although England is batting first in this game. But yes, to get Indians out, especially Shubman Gill, that's how England, in fact, can fancy their chances of making a comeback.
Well, I mean, first things first. I think first they need to put some runs on the board.
Yeah.
And on a fresh wicket with a fresh Jasprit Bumrah, out there, it won't be easy. And given the kind of confidence that the Indian pacers have, and there hasn't been much gap between that victory and today, so the momentum stays firmly with the Indians. So England will have to think before they even think of bowling the Indians, or like bowling at the Indians or keeping the Indians in check. First thing, they'll have to put ample runs on the board. So if they are hit early in the first hour or in the first session, then they will have to fight from that moment onwards, because if they get a great start and if they can blunt Jasprit Bumrah, then of course they'll have reasons to believe that they can put early pressure on India. So this is going to be a game where the team that gains the upper hand early will definitely hold it for much longer. I don't see that, the pressure getting released in a hurry. But yes, England is the one which has to do a lot of hard work at, like right now. But Indians know that this England team can come very, very, very hard at them. And that is exactly what their approach has been. They won't come and with a defensive sort of a thing to play out, the first 30 overs and then attack. They will attack even when the ball is hard and the ball is coming onto the bat. They will go for it. So expect, India to come prepared, obviously, but England is the one which is the worried of the two teams, because they've opted to bat all right, but then their worries haven't ended by winning the toss. In fact, they've made it a little more easier for the Indians, because Shubman didn't have to make a choice and he got what he wanted. So let's hope that Indians can just get on to the throat of England at the earliest and keep it that way, because early pressure means you hold the upper hand.
Yes, England opting to bat after winning the toss, which means Bumrah and Akashdeep with the new ball, and first hour will be very crucial. We'll leave it at that. Thank you for your insights, Rakesh ji. Always good to talk to you. And Tapas, thank you for your inputs. Yes, let's see who steals the show on day one of the Lord's Test. That's all we have in this edition of the Lord's Face Off. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.